buying and selling properties, navigating the market, investment strategies, and more. Unlock the secrets to our success in the real estate game. This is Owning Realty.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Owning Realty. I am Lindsay West.
And I am Tamika Bullock Carter.
And I am Tristan O'Donnell.
Today's episode is going to be about the money, the moolah.
The money.
Money.
Just give me my money.
Give me my money.
Show me the money.
How to come up with the right? How to come up with the money for your down payment? Okay, that is today's fun hot topic. A lot of people, I think, when they want to buy a home, I think the biggest thing that weighs on people's head is, where am I going to get the cash to close?
Yes.
Like, how do I come up with this money, right?
Yeah.
And we all know, like, you could legit have no money.
Right. Yes,
You could legit have
programs
no
for that.
money and buy a house. But it's all about who you know, right? So I think we want to discuss in this episode how there's so many different ways that you can come up with the money. We're going to go over a few. But let's go ahead and get started. First thing first, gift funds. Who wants to define what gift funds is? Tristan?
I like gift funds. Okay, so gift funds are funds that you received from a family member. It actually cannot be a friend. It cannot be a distant relative.
How do they know?
There's the Instagrams and the internets, and they do their sleuthy searches. They will, and it has to make sense. If someone is attesting and writing a gift letter that is a lender form that says, I am this person's mother, cousin, brother. You can't say they're your family friend from 10 years ago. Right. So either someone's lying on the letter, and so they wouldn't know. But if you're honest about it, you're going to say, my mom is gifting me money.
Sure.
So gift funds are, number one, they have to be given from a close family member, something that makes sense. A fiance, yes.
Yes.
That does work. A boyfriend, a girlfriend, like that sort of thing works.
Partner.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, they can't just give you the money. Don't do that. Just don't move money. Whenever
Don't do
you're
it.
doing
Whatever-
anything we're telling you,
I think you have to repeat that again.
just don't move money.
Don't
move it.
Just trust us. I can explain further, but every movement of money requires tracking from a lender. You move money and they're going to go search where you got it from, search where that person got it from to give it to you. So there's a proper way to move this money around. But gift funds are it's a one-page form that says, I, Tristan O'Donnell, am Tamika's mother, and I am gifting her $5,000 to use towards the purchase of 123 Sesame Street. And that's as simple as it is.
Right.
Unless you start moving stuff, then all I have to do is at closing wire the money to the closing attorney, not to Tamika. If I wire it to Tamika, if I wire it anywhere else, if I give it to her cash, the bank is going to scrutinize that. So it's not just about that you can get a gift funds, but how to move it and how to document it properly. But families are here and they want to support you. I got gifts on the first house that I bought.
And that's a very common way for people to purchase. Me too. We got gifts too. It's very common for people to purchase that way, to get gift funds. So don't feel bad about it. If you have to ask, or if someone offers it to you from your family, accept. It cannot be a loan. It has to be specifically gift.
You could at your wedding have where people contribute to a gift fund and it goes into your parents' account, and then your parent says, I have a gift from you from the wedding.
From the wedding. That's a gift fund.
Instead of blowing $100,000 on the wedding, have people give you money. I mean, you can spend some money on the wedding.
And the rest on the house.
But don't go crazy. Yeah. Gift funds, love it.
Gift funds, love it. And there's a way in order to do it, so please don't mess it up.
Okay, so 401ks, your retirement. You can pull money from your 401k for your down payment. It's your money, so you can use it, for your down payment if you don't have the cash like in your savings.
Yeah, I mean, 401ks are awesome. Just make sure that your bank and your institution that is holding that money, that 401k money, make sure that there, aren't any penalties, or that there aren't any reasons why they wouldn't lend it to you, or if they require you to pay that money back. Sometimes they don't, but a lot of times that can change. So it's just very important that you reach out to your particular financial institution and find out the rules of engagement. But it's a definitely great way to go ahead and access some cash when you're trying to buy a home. All right, next we got my fave.
This is your favorite.
Down payment assistance programs.
Yes.
Or also known as DPA.
Yes.
The street code word is DPA. Okay. So there's tons.
Why don't we each name one of our favorites, one that clients have used, and I think that'll give people an idea of, and I know your go ahead.
I'm gonna let you go with yours.
Girl, what's your favorite?
One of my favorites is Invest Atlanta.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily for the ease of it. It's not terribly hard, but the amount of money you can get from Invest Atlanta is amazing. I've heard of people getting as much as $30,000 to $40,000, especially with some of these DPAs. You can layer them on top of another one, which is a hack a little bit because everyone doesn't know. You can add this one with this one with this one and end up with 30, 40,000. So I like Invest Atlanta for the fact that it's the amount, it's such a large amount that you can get. And it makes a huge difference. Putting down $5,000 versus an Invest Atlanta $20,000 to $30,000 to $40,000 makes a huge difference on payment, makes a house more affordable. It has all of those benefits.
Yeah.
You gotta be willing to fight for it.
You gotta be willing to fight. How do you fight for it?
Just
What do you get? How do you fight for the loan, friend? What do you with the right hook like that?
Yes.
Okay. So you fighting over here. Look, I ain't trying to fight.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
So I think I have a couple of different ones. The thing that I look out for in my down payment assistance programs that I think are very important to me for my clients is one that allows them to not have an income limit, right? Because a lot of them are associated with you have to make this much money before they give you money, right? And so oftentimes people make just too much and they don't qualify. So I'm looking for the ones that don't have an income limit on how much you can make. I'm also looking for the ones that allow you to maybe own another property, right? Because then it just opens up the gates for everyone, right? Like not everybody is a first-time home buyer or has, probably owned a home in the last 3 years. And so they still need to be able to get some down payment money, right? Yeah. I'm going to look for the ones with no PMI. Like those are the things that are really attractive to me and that are taking care of your down payment. So I'm going to play with all of them.
and we also have to remember the ones that you don't have to pay back.
Oh,
there
that
are.
part. That part.
Yes.
Got them all.
That's the one.
Yes, there are some you have to pay back and some you
that you
don't.
don't.
And
Sorry,
you
I
just-
dragged you.
No,
I
go
dragged you.
ahead. I was
Girl, excited.
I'm ready.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
one. It's
Yes.
the one where you don't pay back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one is that though? Is that
A
part
lot of
Invest
them.
Atlanta or
Invest Atlanta.
I think it's a certain time frame. So there's either
Forgivable.
you're paying back after certain or under a certain time period. So if you sell your house within 3 years, you have to pay it back.
Yeah.
But if you sell it in 5
prorated.
years, you don't. So it's either
Yeah,
you
yes.
have to pay it back,
prorated.
or you don't have to pay it back at all. Like that's just the program itself. Those are more grants, and but
Yeah,
those are down
grants.
payment assistance. And then there are ones that you just have to pay back. They're second mortgages. You eventually have to pay it back. We like to avoid those last.
Yes.
So yeah, and there's area specific ones.
There's area-specific ones, which I think are always great, especially if you're interested in some of these Beltline neighborhood,
Yeah.
Beltline adjacent neighborhoods, in-town neighborhoods in general. They tend to fall into that category of area-specific
Oh,
ones.
we forgot. What about the firefighters, the policemen, the
Oh,
nurses?
yes.
You're a
Hometown
nurse girl. Why are
heroes.
you?
Let's not talk about that.
Yes. There are specific programs for specific people that are
Yes.
service.
Service,
Yes.
yes, public service.
Public service.
so they get that
Yeah.
plus the additional money for
Yes.
being
Yep.
public service.
So, for example, Georgia Dream gives
yes.
everybody, let's say, $7,000,
Yeah.
but they'll give police
Another.
officers and firefighters $10,000 instead. So
Right.
they give them a little
Right.
extra,
Right.
which they deserve.
They
Yes, they
deserve.
do. You do. Shout out to you
Working.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes. all of the different loans as far as DPA goes. There's so many of them.
Yeah.
And I think it really, like now they're so common that it's really a case by case, like, but depending on the conversation
Yeah.
you have with your buyer and what their needs are,
Yeah.
you can kind of decide on where they need to fall into the pocket.
Yeah. The best is 100%. I mean, 100%
I like the 100%
financing
financing. I was
is
gonna
no
say that.
DPA. So
Yeah.
Yes.
did
No
we talk
DPA,
about that already?
No PMI.
No
Yeah,
PMI.
yeah.
Yep.
Conventional.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and most of the times I'm feeling like the better no down payment loans are conventional.
Conventional.
They're
They are.
typically conventional. And so the next great thing, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, and you can also buy new construction with those. With that 100% financing.
Yeah,
No
I love doing that
PMI.
too.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
I love
you
doing
can.
that too. And then the other good option is pulling equity from your current property.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's another way that people don't even think about too.
Yeah.
Is like you're sitting on a house with so much equity, or you have equity, and you're maybe like, how do I access that? And so you can absolutely pull the equity out to purchase your other property. And so that would be what we call a cash out refinance.
Yes.
And so again, that helps it to make the next property a little easier in the sense of you may not have to wait on the sale of your current home to get the money to buy it. And so you could still end up selling that current home,
Yeah.
Yes.
but it just buys you time so you don't
Yes.
feel that rush and you can get into the next home just a little bit more easily. So that's a very good one. The banks and loan officers are normally totally fine with that money coming
Yes.
from the equity of another property, and they will not give you any pushback.
You can also sell feet pics on OnlyFans, and that will get you
You and these feet.
some.
So not only did you try to
no.
rub feet, you also now want to sell feet.
We're just gonna do the conventional
Y'all on
route.
the
The DPAs, that's what we're going with.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna go the conventional route.
Yep.
And there's lots of other ways we're not gonna discuss.
Just throw the
I'm
feet
just
in there.
surprised that you don't rub feet.
No,
I'm just,
something
yeah.
wrong with y'all.
Yeah.
Foot massages?
I do like foot massages. You actually took me to get a foot massage. You probably you took me to get my first.
I did not massage her feet.
But-
I did not.
Was it the first one?
Was it?
I think you did take me to get my first one. It was amazing. I fell asleep. I was snoring, and I almost lost my ring too. That part. So many things happened in the massage. But yes. So all of the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are ways to purchase a house without money. That's
Yes.
the gist of this conversation, okay? And you now have resources to ask on how to do that, right?
Right.
And as everybody's a case-by-case basis,
Right.
so
Yeah.
not one size fits all. We really have to sit down and talk with you to see your options, but you have options, girl, guy. You have options. People.
That is the biggest thing. Most people are like, I'm just afraid I don't have enough money.
Yes.
But as Lindsay said, we're here to tell you, you don't need it. Let us
Yeah.
help you figure out the best scenario for you.
And if you really feeling frisky, ooh,
Frisky.
you can get money back.
Oh,
you can get your money back at closing.
Yes. I thought you were
you
going to say
can.
something else.
No, I wasn't going to go rogue. So you can get your money back at closing. Imagine knowing that all you put into a deal was $500. Imagine that's all you gave up, And so things like that do happen often in this business. And I don't think people realize that. So again, you got options, and not only that, you could make money. You could make a little cash, a little something, maybe. So anyhow, let's. I hope that helped you guys,
We
right?
could talk about this a long time.
We could.
We could.
We could talk about money a long time, long time. So just to wrap up, there are several ways that you can get down payment assistance or down payment money for the purchase of your property. One way is through your 401k. One way is through
Your
Gift funds.
gift funds.
yes.
Another way is through
Your home equity line of credit.
Yes.
or yep.
HELOC.
Yep. And then, of course, the other ways are down payment assistant programs. There are
DPA.
there's a lot of them. And so, again, reach out to your agent. Us.
Yes.
We're your agent.
Yes.
You realize we are.
We go together.
We go
Yes,
together.
we go together real bad.
Real bad. So reach out to us. And again, it's not a one size fit all. It's we have to decide on which would be the best route for you. All right?
Yeah.
So let's tap into this audience.
All right, guys. So we have questions from our audience, our Q&A. Okay, so Aaron asks, what's the best tool to search for homes, guys?
There are so many
ways.
I mean,
Yes.
we have
become a-
access overload. Is
It's
that
a
a thing?
lot. It is.
There's a lot.
I'm overstimulated.
Yes.
It's too many options.
Yeah.
But I mean, people are just going to naturally search Zillow, Trulia, Redfin,
Yes.
all of them. Ultimately, though, your best resource, in my opinion, and I'm biased because I'm an agent,
Right.
is an agent. I mean, honestly, we have access to off market. We have access to coming soon. We know of things that are coming up way ahead of time. So you're selling yourself short if you are just
Doing it
looking at Zillow.
Yeah.
Right.
You ask your grandparents, ask your mom, ask your bosses. Like, there's so many ways to find houses. Just, driving around. Sometimes I just find them
just
driving
driving
around,
around.
and I
It's true.
see a dumpster, and I'll go knock on the door because I'm like, my client's looking to buy
Looking
in this area. You have a dumpster. What's going on?
Were you gonna say something? No. There's a lot of ways. Be sure to know that Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, they're great resources, but they tend to be delayed in updating the statuses of homes.
Yes, they are.
So sometimes you may see a home on there that says it's available and ready, and then we go look on the back end in the FMLS or the Georgia MLS, and we'll find that the house is under contract, and it just hasn't been updated via those third-party sites.
Right.
So it's very important that you're locked in with an agent again to be able to tell you in real time what's going on with that property, because it's just delayed in a lot of instances. But you can absolutely use those things.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right, so question number 2. Chris says, my wife and I are getting ready to buy a home. Should we both go on the loan?
I don't do that. I don't speak that.
You going on it? You both going on it? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
Or
no,
you're not?
one of us are going off of it.
Yes, agreed. We're not both going to. Yeah.
Uno, yeah. What are you about to say?
I was just going to say, as we say this with everything, but it is truly why we are advisors and agents.
Yeah. Sure.
Every scenario is different. Maybe you both have to go on there.
Sometimes you
because
have to.
It makes your it fixes a debt to income problem. Maybe someone scores higher than the other. And there are some lenders that will use the higher of the score,
Right.
not the middle or the lower of the score.
Yes.
So again, every situation is different, but why? What are the scenarios in which you would do it separate?
So I think it helps you stay. Well, one of the things we were talking about, I think, is that it helps you stay on budget when one of you goes on the loan. So say, for instance, one of you guys are qualified for $100,000 and the other person is qualified for $100,000. Together, your combined is $200,000. Now, in Atlanta, a $200,000 house is probably going to be more feasible than a $100,000 house.
Right,
So in that case, you would both have to be on the loan.
Right.
But if it was a situation where one is qualified for 200, the other is qualified for 500, right? And now you guys are qualified for a $700,000 home. You're going to probably more than likely spend more than you need to because you both were on that loan. And so I think it's beneficial to, like, if you want to be able to say, you know, one person carries the load financially, then it'd be easier for one person to qualify, right? And keeping it into one person's name. Maybe that other person could buy the next house, and so when you do go to buy the next house, you're not worried about both names being on the first house and being qualified for the next house.
Yeah.
It's strategic.
It's strategic.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Sometimes it's
but
necessary.
it's strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also heard that, you know, it's best if you can afford to do this, that one person gets the loan in their name, just in case, you know, for unforeseen reasons where somebody may lose their job. And, you know, if both parties are on the loan and you're basing that off of that income and that monthly payment, then you're in trouble if someone gets sick for a long period of time or they lose their job.
Right.
So it's more, you know, advantageous for you to get a home that one person can afford in the event that some unforeseen thing happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, even if one of you goes on the loan, neither one of you will be left out, because I always suggest or recommend that you add the other partner or spouse to the deed.
Yes.
And so that way they both have the same interest in the property. And if God forbid something happened to the spouse on the mortgage,
Right.
the spouse on the deed can still have beneficial rights to the property.
Right.
So don't feel like you're going to be left in the dark or left behind because you're not on the loan. It can be, it's a play. It's a power play in some cases to just have one person on the loan.
For sure.
So do what you do, but this is our advice, in every case is different. So what else? Okay. Is that all we got for questions?
That's it. That's our Q&A. That's it, guys.
That's it.
Wrap.
So that is it for today's episode. I hope that all of these things were helpful. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Put us in the DMs what you guys do. What have y'all done when y'all bought a house? Did you put your spouse on the house? Did you get a down payment program?
Rapper now, you just rhyming.
You heard that?
on the house.
Did you put a spouse on the house? And then, now I can't rap when I try. But did you put your spouse on the house? Or, what kind of down payment program did you use? Have you benefited from a down payment assistance program? Any of those things, drop that in the comments, share with us. I hope all this information was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, DM us, all the things. Also, go on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share on YouTube, but do not forget where the audibles and audio podcasts are listened to: Apple Podcasts,
Spotify.
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead and give us a good rating of 5 stars, but honestly, give us 5 stars, nothing less. Okay, we'll find you. No, I'm joking.
Please and thank you.
Thanks. And put it in, do all the things. Make sure you what is it? Boom us up? Is it a boom up?
Boomerang.
Boom us, push us, hype us up.
Hype us up.
Hype us up, bring us up, you know what I'm saying? Do the things. Support us. We appreciate you. And until next time, guys.
Bye.
We're out.
Bye.
Thank you.